Welcome to Martini Time. Beautiful day here in Blackstone, the center of the world. But then you too are the center of your world. So let's talk. What's new in the news? And the title of this talk here is, Where's the Proof? Do you remember that Reagan commercial? Oh, the two old ladies with the hamburger, and she calls out, "Where's the beef?" That was a big hit. And so where's the proof? So let me have a sip here, and we'll start our inquiry into this question that's on the news all the time. Where's the proof? So, the problem I saw this morning, I was writing about this morning, is that there is a separation in truth, or the way we perceive truth, and the question of where's the proof that Trump is in the pocket of the Russians? Where is the true proof that there is collusion? So everybody, Trump included, everybody on the right side says there is no proof. And everybody on the other side says, well, let's look at this evidence, but the evidence doesn't prove it. So I came up with an analogy this morning, a metaphor, of the anthill. Now, if you kick over a rock, as we always do in our garden, and expose an anthill, there is immediate chaos. They just go wow, 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 wow everywhere. But if you stand there and watch, in a few minutes, if not sooner, they reorganize, they reunify, and they're off as one unit again. So an ant colony is an organism, but if you look at each ant, you can't tell it's being controlled by the organism. I'm sitting at my table, and an ant comes over. He's an independent agent, yet he is being controlled or being directed freely. I mean, he's free to move around. He can go explore this part of the table and that, looking for a little bit of sugar. But he's part of the organism. So I haven't zoomed back far enough, you see. I'm focused on that single ant. And I don't see any ant colony. This is a free agent. Where's the proof that this ant is controlled by the ant colony? Well, I don't know. But if I could zoom back and I could see all the ants, I would see a system. So let's look at the internet. Now, the American internet, the internet is global, but every culture has its own language, its own internet. So we see American stuff. We don't see French news unless we sign up for it. So it's an American ant colony, the internet is. And each one of us is an ant on it when we're on the internet. I think I'm independent. I'm clicking this, clicking that, doing this, doing that. But I don't zoom out far enough to see that I'm part of an ant colony, an internet organism. So what the Russians do? Well, the Russians created an ant colony that looks just like our ants. So our ants invaded, just mixed in with our ants. Their ants mixed in with our ants. We can't tell the difference. They all look the same. But their ants are being organized and directed by their queen, just like our ants is being organized and directed by our queen. I don't know who our queen is. Maybe it's Zuckerberg, or, Zuckerberg or whatever. But the queen is kind of like the organism, but it has a center. So every organism has a center to it. So it's not just a fragment of data. Every reality has some kind of organizing principle. Otherwise, it's just snowflakes. But even snowflakes have an organizing principle, so everything has a system. But when it comes to the internet, we can't see it because we're an ant in the internet, you see. And we just see other ants. We don't see the system. So when you look at the system, there's no proof. If you look at an ant, I cannot find any proof that ant is part of a larger system. There's no proof. There's no direct cause and effect because the system is controlling the ant. And the system is invisible. You can't see a system walking around. You don't see a system. Oh, there's a system. You see the parts. And then you deduce the system. That's Sherlock. You see the clues and you deduce who did it. You see. See, that just comes with you get enough clues, you deduce who did it. And then that's circumstantial evidence that points to the cause that is invisible. So the invasion of the Russians will never be proved by concrete first cause evidence, that event caused that event, in the same way that you can't see the cause that the ant colony controls the ant. So when the Russians invade with a colony of ants that look just like ours, there's no way to prove that those ants, because they look like us, are being directed by another queen, have a different purpose. What's their purpose? They want to get our sugar. See? So that's their purpose. They want to get our sugar. And we say, oh, well, they're just like, they're not, we can't see it. So there's two ways of looking at this now. There's the way of looking at systems, which is going to be circumstantial evidence, and there's the way of looking at foreground objects that has a cause and effect. And both are valid ways of looking for the truth, but when it comes to systems, the direct cause and effect does not prove anything. You can't see the system. You can't see the trees you can't see the forest if you look at a tree. That's an old metaphor, but it works. You can't see the ant colony by looking at a single ant and measuring it or trying to what caused that ant to move? You see, what's the cause of that ant's behavior? Well, he wants this sugar or that, you see. But you got to zoom out and you would see the pattern. So anyway, that's my metaphor for the day. I hope it gives you a little bit of understanding and a little bit of a lever in which to understand the insanity that's going on today when people say, where's the proof? You see, and other people say, it's there, it's there, it's there. I don't see it, prove it. It's there. So it's kind of like, there's a tiger, I don't see it. Thanks for dropping in. And on Facebook, share my talks. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe. And let's keep this going. Thanks for dropping in.